I'm Beth the Builder, and yeah, that's right, I'm in front of my chicken coop because it's still not moved, because guess what? I'm 7 months pregnant, and it's not exactly top priority, okay? They're safe, they're secure, they got food and water and a place to hang out, it's fine. I'm gonna try some chicken DIY projects, and then, you know, my whole thing is I do projects, and I tell you, like, the honest truth of, like, what the f is going on with them. So, like lots of stupid DIY projects that you'll find on Pinterest or whatever fucking social media platform that you use, you all know that sometimes they're like a little bit flippant with the truth. That they're like, it's so easy, but you need like 17 very specific things and also 9 hours of your time. But it's like so easy. Okay, so that's bullshit, and I'm not about bullshit. So yeah, I'm about honesty. So, without further ado, let's just get into them. Okay, let's just do it. All right, I got a chicken just hanging out right here. It's all good. Don't worry, she can't get out. But yeah, just kind of hanging out, which is fun. So, hey, chicken. I know. Okay, but actually, one thing. If you like this, you should like this. And subscribe if you want to do that. I'm not your mom, so I can't tell you what to do, really. But if you, maybe do that. You can also check out the description below, or like links up here I have throughout my videos of very direct ways you can support me, like becoming a patron to my Patreon. That's redundant. Check out my Etsy. Maybe you could bring a piece of Beth the Builder into your home. Or if you're a carver, you can check out cutsall.com. They have great stuff, really quality products, and you can get a discount by using my promo code. So put that in, you get a discount, and I get a percentage. So, I mean, it's like a win-win scenario. Anyway, this seems so like I'm plugging myself, but I don't know. That's what you got to do on the internet if you want to do this. But that's not my main focus. We're focused on chickens, so let's do it. Just like hanging out in the sun. Okay, so my first chicken project, okay, number 1, chicken swing, okay? So the things you need for that are rope and wood and some screws. That's it, all right? This wood I scavenged from my garage. It was just there. And then rope and screws, like what honest DIYer doesn't have that shit, okay? So some notes. I think I gotta move my ropes apart. So that I have 2 arms, basically, because I think they feel like maybe they can't fit up there, even though they totally would. But, yeah, you know, it kind of freaks them out right now, okay, to be honest. I think they're a little concerned about it. But I put some food on there, so they're, like, checking it out. But super easy, those 3 things. It took me, I don't know, like half an hour or something to get all my materials and then to just put it together and hang it. Okay, very, very simple. I have no complaints about this DIY. I think you could make it as complicated or as simple as you want. That's it. That's all I gotta say about it, okay? It's easy. You should do it. Your chickens, they like being up on things and exploring. Why not give your chickens the best possible life that you can give them, okay? So, try it out. Project number 1. Did it. Done. Project number 2, a DIY chicken dust bath, okay? So, basically all you need is a container to fill it with like dirt and dust and wood ash, etc. So, the thing I'd seen a lot of was using an old car tire, and I happen to just have one in my garage that we inherited from whoever the heck lived in our house previously. So, we're gonna see how this works out. I haven't filled it with stuff yet, but the making of it was easy as shit. So I cleaned my car tire, scrubbed it off with some soap, sprayed it down, let it dry, painted it with some leftover paint that I've used from other projects. So I'm going to fill it with wood ash, because I got bunches of it, and some sand from my sandbox that our dogs like to dig in, and probably some dirt that I'm gonna find in my yard. Maybe I'll dig a hole, I don't know. I don't like paying for dirt, okay? The principle of it really ticks me off, okay? Just a side note. So I would like to think that this is gonna work out, but we'll have an update, okay? I'll update you of how it goes. The making of it, 10 out of 10. Easy as hell, no big deal. You could build a little box. You don't want it deeper than 6 to 8, 10 inches, because then it'll get all packed down and it'll be really hard to like mix, because it'll eventually get packed down and you need to like turn it. So I think 8, 10 inches is probably a good depth, but you could just build it from scrap wood, fill it. So I'll let you know how this goes, but the initial making of it is really easy. Obviously, you do not have to paint it like this. You could paint it one color or just clean it and not paint it at all. I think it looks more fun all painted. Plus, chickens have really good eyesight, so they can see color really well and reflections and things like that. So, I mean, why not make it kind of fun for them, okay? But you don't have to make it like so crazy cow print like this. I mean, it'd be a rainbow crazy cow, but just saying. You can do whatever you want with it. If you're just going to use wood, you know, you can just seal it or stain it. I don't know, whatever you want to do, okay? So you don't have to do this. But yeah, so have at that, whatever you want to make it from. You could go buy some wood for it, whatever. I'm going to put mine on a piece of plywood, so when we eventually move all this, it's a lot easier to move. I'm not going to be moving it because of this, but then they can just pick up the piece of plywood with a tire on it, and you don't have to like dig up all the shit you put in it. Just a clever hack. Two projects that I tried that I don't have great video footage of is I tried a DIY flock block. If you know what that is, you know about it. Otherwise, I'll put a picture of one here. You can buy them. It's just a hardened block of like seeds and grains and shit like that for your chickens. And you can buy them, you know, they're $15+ or whatever for the like main brand. But you can also make them. So I tried my hand at making them. I have a recipe here that I tried, and I think my critique is it was kind of crumbly. So I think I would add more eggs to it to make it adhere better. And then you can, I put mine in a pan, but you could just, for them to eat out of, but you could, I'm gonna try this, I'll let you know how it goes. I'm gonna bake it with maybe a string in it, or even just tie it up and hang it, because I think that'll be more interesting for them to eat from. But basically, it's a super simple recipe. You should basically have all these things anyway if you're gonna have chickens. And maybe an odd thing you would wanna get is molasses. We always have molasses because we make our own brown sugar, lots of other, you know, self-sufficient things we do. So we have that. That might be a weird thing you may not have. But that's my one complaint about this recipe, is it was kind of crumbly, but I feel you just experiment with ratios and the consistency, and there you go. I'll probably try it again and put some notes in a video or something about it. So we are really getting into some like homestead self-sufficiency, Beth the Builder, which is really where my heart's at. Before I got pregnant, we were kind of looking at maybe trying to move to an acreage, because that's really where our hearts are at, of trying to be much more homesteady, self-sufficient, which would unlock, I don't know, Pandora's box? No. Some really cool projects that I have in mind that I'm not really able to get into first when I'm 7 months pregnant, but mostly in town. That's the thing that we have to battle with. But having chickens is definitely, and gardening are like two things that for sure get you into the realm of homesteading, self-sufficient mindset. If you can do one of those things, I feel like you're on your way. The second project that I didn't have great footage of because I kind of just did it was a fly trap. A fry trap is a fly trap that I just cobbled up out of an old juice jug. And I gotta fix it because it hangs fine, works, you can fill it with shit. But it doesn't seem to be attracting flies all that well. So I'm gonna use some dish soap, some apple cider vinegar, and then something smelly, okay? So raw meat, fruit, rotting vegetables. I thought because we have chicken and dog poo, I was like, why don't I put some poop in there? Like, that would attract the heck out of flies, right? But that seems incredibly disgusting. Yeah, I'm gonna go with dish soap, apple cider vinegar, and then maybe like a piece of meat or some rotting vegetables. We don't have a lot of rotting vegetables because we're not wasteful fucks that way. But I'm gonna find something smelly like that. A piece of raw meat was the thing that was really recommended, and I was like, man, that's gross. But it makes perfect sense for attracting flies. And with animals, you want to avoid flies becoming a problem because it's gonna bum you out real quick. It's gonna harass your horses, you're gonna have hoof problems, it's gonna like eat your fucking cows and pigs and chickens alive, okay? So I don't really want to go like a hardcore chemical route because chickens will eat flies. And if you kill the flies, bugs, etc. with poison and they die, your chickens eat them, you could make them sick. And I'm kind of like anti-chemicals. So insecticides, pesticides, weed killers, etc. I'm against it. I do not think it's okay to use. I think it's harmful to basically everything because you're trying to kill something in your environment, okay? I think it's fucked up. That's my 2 cents about this. This video is basically just 2 cents about things that I want to get more into and talk about, but it's hard to get a whole video about like why Roundup is bad, okay? Like, just saying. Why GMOs are maybe a problem, okay? But anyway. So that's my second project that I didn't document super well. I think it's worth considering going that route if you have animals and you have a fly problem, which you're gonna have if you have animals, that especially ones that are living outside. Obviously our dogs, they attract flies just by pooping, but they live inside because they're privileged. So they're privileged, happy indoor dogs. That's not really a problem with them, but farm animals in general, they will attract flies and it will be a problem. So make your own DIY fly trap. I'll get you a picture of mine. Totally works design-wise, but the stuff I put in it just doesn't seem to be attracting flies very well. So we'll do some tweaking. Alrighty, so project number 4. Oh, so you can totally see my chainsaw carvings I put in here because chickens like things to climb on. So like my swing, but they'll climb on top of my bird here and a stump because why the heck not? And I carved them and they're fun and I don't have a place for them. So unless I'm gonna burn them, they're gonna live in there and my chickens can enjoy them, which I appreciate. So project number 4. Alrighty, you can see it here in the corner, okay? Like I talked about with my dust bath, my tire I painted, chickens have really good eyesight. So if you can put like a mirror or something reflective for them to explore and experience, they're gonna totally appreciate that. Because I'm not 14, I have CDs that I've burned that are all scratched up and shit. So I used some old CDs and hung them up and the sun hits them and they reflect light and they seem to think that's friggin' curious. So I like that. I'd like to get like maybe a little mirror because that would be like super reflective. So yeah, that's like a really simple DIY thing that you can just do yourself, is using things that are reflective to enhance your chickens' lives, okay? So that's like a really simple project. It's like you barely have to do anything. It's old CDs and some string. If you're using a mirror, you just want to make sure that it's hung up and secured in place really well so that your chickens aren't gonna like break it or knock it down and get glass places. So just to be aware. So that's like barely a DIY. It's like a 5-minute little thing and you hang it somewhere and hopefully they enjoy it. So that's project 4 or 5, whatever. Alrighty, so that's like 4 or 5 chicken projects. All of them I think are up there as pretty good projects. I think my swing needs a little work and then we're going to test out the dust bath and just see if that really goes the way I want. All of them pretty solid. None of them I thought were particularly stupid. The flock block I think just needs some tweaking and it'll be better. But otherwise, dust bath, heck yeah. Hopefully they use it. We're updated about that. Chicken swing, hell yeah. Pretty simple. Fly trap. I mean, all these things, I feel like if you know about DIYing, you should be able to be like, that should be useful. But you never know, okay? There's some really stupid projects out there that are like, that you think, wow, that looks so cool. And then in reality, it's really stupid or just like dishonest. Overall, I'm loving having chickens, okay? 10 out of 10, I love it. We've only had one semi-escape for a moment, okay? And it was not a big deal. And I want to like make the run a little bigger, even though like they seem to get on pretty well in here. I do have maybe 2 more projects that I want to try. But yeah, I feel like all of these I would definitely recommend with a little bit of tweaking. I think they'd be great, really solid additions to your chicken coop. Obviously people keep chickens and ideally, I'd like them to be able to free range. I don't want my chickens to just like exist. I want them to have like a pretty fun environment because they can't free range. So I think by adding some pretty simple things to their coop and their area, you can kind of enhance what you're doing with that. So really, I have no complaints other than I am concerned about flies right now just because we're getting to like peak hot summer. But that's why right behind me, we're gonna do some stuff about this fly trap and we're gonna hopefully lower the number of flies in this area. So yeah, I feel like if you can, you know, maybe even if you can't, maybe you should keep some chickens. Consider guineas. They're really small and like the eggs of them are really pretty valuable if you can get them to the right people potentially. And they don't get obviously near as big as chickens, and I've heard people will keep them in smaller coops obviously and runs, and potentially you can even just do it in your garage, and that's a way of getting around like ordinances and stuff like that in your town if you're like not supposed to have poultry of any kind. I'm just saying it's an option that maybe you want to consider because fight the fucking authority power. So that's something to consider. Just putting it out there. We can talk more about that later. I am a fountain of information, okay? Yeah, keeping chickens, 10 out of 10. I freaking love it so far. I can't tell 5 of them apart. I just can't. And we have a 6th, which we will talk about at some point of why we now have 6 and why our 6th one is different. So, but yeah, I can't tell the 5 apart really. There's one that's a little bit more uppity and we'll kind of like probably the one that got up here, you know. I like her. I think she's sassy. So, but otherwise I can't really tell them apart. Thanks for watching. I hope that you appreciate my honest DIY projects, have enjoyed watching me do them, etc. And yeah, get some chickens, okay? It's great. Like, it's awesome. And then build some shit for them. Just some really simple projects that are fun. You could do them with your kids, like I'm doing. Technically, right now, I'm doing it with our kid. So, he or she is just along for the ride. But yeah, I have no complaints. Maybe I will eventually. I guess my one complaint is that my chicken coop is still here. That's my one complaint. But all things in time. Also, it's my friggin' fault that it's in the wrong place. So, lesson learned. Anyway, I appreciate the heck out of you guys. Keep liking and watching and commenting. And I'll see you guys next time.